All right, all right, all right. we gotta put that right. All right, all right, all right. Hey, it's the LDM Show. I'm Charles Aloma,
Lydia Penn here.
and we're here for another amazing day and a
Welcome.
great topic that we're going to be talking about. So get ready to join in the conversation
Juicy.
um, and things like that. But hope everyone's week was great. It is getting close to the ending of the school
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about like what
When's the last day of school?
June, middle of June or ending in June, depending on the school.
Okay.
Uh, so
For
let-
you, what's the last day of school?
I think his is the ending of June or the third week or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, like the third week of.
That's when they open the pools. We gotta wait until the kids.
Oh my God! Yes. But it's hard because I'm thinking, without the schools, I know people have to put their kids into daycare
Right.
and all that, even more
There's
hours.
still something. So you have to do something with your kids.
But I was thinking the other day, I'm like, wait a minute, my son, even in the summer, he's still learning. Like we teach him and all this stuff. So I'm wondering, that's probably why the kids never move on up, because in the summer they in babysitters that don't really teach them,
Yeah, I was always forced to read a book during the summer.
or in daycares where they just be like, okay, here, watch TV and do this.
Yeah.
So
I see the value in it now.
yeah,
but,
like
it
maybe,
was a bummer, summer bummer.
but you're in the
But you
you're in-
you have to do it. You know what I mean? Like you gotta
yeah, but you're in
jog
the
your brain.
babysitter, or wouldn't you want to teach the kids something?
Yes, my grandmother in the summer would babysit us, so she taught. She made sure we did the little homework things and jog our memory and read, and it wasn't just play.
Ah.
There was lots of play, but it wasn't all just play.
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's one of those random thoughts that has my head, and I'm looking at the kids like,
There's after school. They do the summer
but they don't do it after
recreation.
school because then they have to come out at a certain time out of work to take them to the day. So they just throw them in the daycare for the rest of the day
Yeah.
and pick them up like they normally
After
do
work,
after
yeah.
school. But I think parents, maybe you start looking for daycare or babysitters that want to give at least an hour of teaching,
Stimulate your child.
then versus just sitting there. I don't know.
Well, if they're not doing something, they're going to find something to get into, That's just how it is. So if there's nowhere to go, like a lot of kids, they go to McDonald's after school. I don't know. Those are the kids that cause trouble,
Yeah.
because they don't have any place to direct their energy, their
Mhm.
physical energy and their mental, emotional energy. So there's no sports, for some of them. What else are you gonna do? You're gonna get into bull,
Yeah, because I remember in the summer, my mom, I know people are going to give me slack, but my mom wasn't the smartest, person in the world, because she had a kid when she was 15.
That's okay. My mom
gave
did-
birth when she
my
was
mom did
16.
too. Yeah.
And she ran around, so she didn't have time for school. But in the summertime, she used to tell us, either you go to the library the day before and grab some stuff to do,
Yeah.
and then before
the
you could come out,
library, yeah.
I need at least a half an hour. That's it.
The library was kind of a magical place
Yeah.
as a child, as a small child particularly. There's always
I used to have to read a book, do something.
Yeah.
Or she don't even care if it's one page.
do
At
something.
least something to continue my mind
Right.
remembering.
Well, see, she wasn't stupid. She,
No.
just because she didn't have academic education,
Her thing
didn't
was,
mean she wasn't
I
intelligent.
didn't have it. I want to make sure that you do.
Right.
So
That goes a long way. It sets
Mhm.
you up, sets your son up, sets his son. You know what I mean, and so forth.
and that's why we always do with our kid. Like in the summer, you still got to give us an hour or so. So lucky that they
Right,
have
you're on break,
websites.
but you're not.
You're not on break.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they're
Because
lucky.
life,
There's
there's no
websites.
breaks in life, really.
Nope.
Do you get a break in the summer from work? No.
Nope. We don't get a break. So now we sound selfish. we
Teachers-
don't get a break.
teachers
You're not going to
do.
get a break.
Teachers do,
Well, some of them. Some of them
Yeah.
still got to do
Right.
summer school and stuff like that.
if they're lucky.
Yeah, if.
They gotta get paid.
But I don't know. Maybe it's something that you want to think of, parents, before you just give them up to a daycare. And Now we're talking about different ages.
Yeah. It depends
I'm
on the
like
age.
5 years old, 4 years old. They don't want to learn. They learning anyway by movements and stuff like
Right.
that.
There's always something for them to learn.
But any kid of 7, 8 years old, I think you should give them at least an hour a day.
They need to be
At
stimulated.
least.
They
Read a
need to
book,
be-
do something. Because then you go back to school and you forgot
Yeah.
what you were taught. It's just with anybody that has a second language. When
Right.
you don't use
I
it,
mean, you lose it. Or
Yeah.
instruments. You lose
yeah,
it.
you know what I mean?
Uh-huh,
Like,
I do.
I was great in trumpet. Tell me to play the scale right now.
I can't read music.
I can still read the music.
I
I would
can't.
just don't
Yeah.
know really how to get the air out like that. You know what I mean?
And that's insane. You would think that you would forget the notes, but you like how does that's
But
interesting.
give me a couple of weeks, maybe a month, it'll
Yeah.
come back.
Of course.
So
Muscle
you
memory.
think about it, a couple of weeks or a couple of months. So school is like what, 5, 6 months?
It's only
Will?
a couple months. Is it
about right?
in between
Probably
in between
less.
the new year? It's only a couple months.
Yeah, if you total everything together. Yeah, right? Well, totaling everything together, about 8 months. So if it takes you about 3
Missing
months
a
just to
couple
get
months.
caught up,
Yeah.
that means you only got 5 months of learning. Versus if you would have taught them an hour a day in the summer to, recap their
I guess it
brain.
depends on where you want your child to be, right?
Yeah. Well, you want to be better than you.
Yeah. Some do.
I don't.
No.
Well, I was gonna say, you know what? Yeah, real parents want their kids to be. Better
What is,
than them.
otherwise, what is the point of you not continuing your legacy to evolve? You know, that's really what it is. It's like you're cloning yourself.
You know what? That you said that is true because I was hearing people saying, "Oh, these people got a leg up on us, and they have all this legacy and heritage going." Well, we can do the same thing.
You actually do. If you don't know it, that's another topic. But that's for you to find out. That's a part of you to find out if you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, it's an adventure all in its own. Some people don't like biological parents. Some people don't know the other biological parent. So, but what you do know, you can fill in the gaps and pretty much find out the rest as you go along.
Just
like,
make your kids better than you. And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about better in Madden or Xbox or
better as
or
a person, as a
PlayStation.
complete person.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, it's a career for the people.
Hey, listen, they
know
can
how
be
to
better
play.
in Madden as long as they can count and read and aspire to do other things as well. So
Yeah.
be a whole person.
But
Help the world or something.
you know how they say, involve yourself in your kids, right? Nowadays, I figured it's unstoppable. A kid is going to wind up playing a game sooner or later.
Why not? Who-
Or be on a tablet.
unless
or be on something.
they're Amish or
Right.
something.
But why don't you give them something on that
Right.
tablet
Right.
that's going to teach them?
Right.
You know what I mean? On that phone that's going to teach them. Then, of course, they got their regular games. I was like, you play a couple regular games, but you still have certain games that will teach you.
Yeah.
There is so many games out there. Here's a cheap plug. You go to RaidersWorld.com. In the bottom, he has some of the links and stuff that he uses to learn and to have fun.
Yeah.
And there's some games that he be coming to me and
Make
like,
it fun.
he be like, oh man, I need to get more power, but I got to answer these questions. And I was
Right.
like, questions?
Yeah.
And they'd be like math questions,
Trivia and
science,
stuff,
social
yeah.
studies. So games like that are good. So check that out. But summer is coming, and you have to realize what do they do during the time you're not there.
Around.
Because normally in the winter, they're in school, they're learning.
Yeah.
So are they learning with the babysitter? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
Or if they're by themselves, some kids are by themselves throughout the day.
Yeah.
I know I was.
Even if you leave them with the older brother or sister,
Yeah. Yeah.
what is the older brother or sister doing? Playing games and then letting them do what they want? You gotta find out.
Because you do that on the weekend anyway, right? Kids?
Yeah. With technology now, you can call the kid. Okay, I see you sitting there.
Yeah.
Put cameras
definitely.
in your house.
Oh man, I would have been in trouble if we had a camera in our house.
Oh my God.
I had to call my mother every time I got home from school, and I couldn't just go outside because she wasn't home, Dad wasn't home,
my
so
God.
I had to stay home till they came home.
There was times when my mom goes somewhere. She's always home. She was a housewife.
And I had to do my homework.
But when she would go out, she'd be like, this house better be clean. You better clean the living room and your room. I don't want to hear nothing when I come back. We didn't clean it.
Oh.
We didn't clean it because we knew more or less what time she was going to get home.
Right.
40 minutes to 30 minutes, we're cleaning everything real quick. But if she would have had a camera, she would have came home. Don't think you slick. I seen you the last 30 minutes trying to clean up. So, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got away with teasing my brother so much, for sure.
Yeah, that's true, right? There's certain things that we did, we would have never got away with it now.
No.
Yeah, so.
I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And then now they got the mic. Boop. Yeah. You want to get off that couch right there, buddy.
Hey.
Like, oh, man.
The dogs, especially.
Oh, no, they got a camera. Now that you say dog, a camera where you can talk to your dog and then press the button and food come out.
Yeah, that's cute.
I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but I don't know if I want to go
like
that
a
far.
treat?
Yeah, like that's a good thing and put the treat. The dog one day.
It's positive reinforcement. That's how they learn.
Yeah, but one day the dog is gonna come. You're gonna come home. They're gonna be like, listen, you can take the treat and shove it up your and all this. Because if you don't got time for me, and
at least on your lunch break, you can make a little time. Like,
what have you done for me?
I see you.
What have you done for me? I want to go vacation too. You know. You can imagine the dogs just get up and start walking and walking away.
That's what that lady should have used. That lady who left her baby to go hang out.
But the thing is, there's so many stories like that. There was one lady.
It's happening too much.
Well, it's always been happening.
What is
It's
wrong
just
with
been,
people?
it's
And
just
then the
been in
house
news.
be dirty.
It's just been in the news more.
Right.
But back in the days, they caught one. I remember when I was young.
People didn't do this as much back in the day, though, I think.
Well,
Charles.
no, one person got arrested because she left her kids upstairs and they almost burned in the fire. But she only went to the store for like about 2 to 3 minutes.
What do you mean upstairs? Like she was out of the house? Or?
Yeah, she left. She went to the store.
Okay.
And they were upstairs by themselves.
For a minute, though. That's.
Yeah,
It
but
depends on how
the
young
only
the
thing
kid
that
is.
saved her was that the lawyer was from the hood. He was born and raised, you know.
Right. So
he's
he
played
played
He
played the
part and said, many
Oh,
people
she's
do
a
that because they
distressed
don't
mother
have babysitters. So they
right.
run to the store
Working
while
alone.
The kid is. Everybody does that. And the people say they don't, they're liar because even the people in the suburbs, what they do, their kid is in their house and they in the backyard mowing the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
You're
My dad
still
does that all
not
the time.
in the house with
Right.
them.
And you can't hear.
And you can't hear them. So it's safe.
Literally,
You went
can't
to the
hear
store,
it or see them.
You went to the store and you can't hear them. You're
They
lowering the
could be
lawn.
right behind you, you know?
So it happens. How you think a lot of kids in the suburbs drown in the water?
True.
Or they get hurt riding the lawnmower and you didn't even know.
Yeah.
So things happen to many parents. I don't care who you are.
No, in whatever economic, socioeconomic
Rich,
background.
poor, black, white, it doesn't
Neglect,
matter.
abuse.
And they automatically going to call that neglect and abuse when it's not. It's just a slip of the moment.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. So they will start learning that sometimes a slip in the moment can cause an accident. I left my son, and we lived in the 10th floor. I ran downstairs to grab a milk, come right back up, and he was still sound asleep.
Anything can happen between those 10 floors.
I was gone for like 2.5, maybe 3 minutes,
Right.
because our store is literally
I'm sure you were
across the
like,
street. Yeah, and I told the cashier, can I go quick? Because I got my son upstairs. The one lady said, okay, no, here, go. Well, all I had to do was grab milk.
Yeah.
I got upstairs with less than at least 3 minutes.
thank God.
But anything could have happened in those 3.
Anything could have happened.
He could have
between-
woke up. He could
Right.
have gone somewhere, done something.
You
know
could have
what I'm
got caught in the elevator.
saying? Yep, the elevator. By all means, elevators in these places don't work that many times. You could have got stuck.
Yeah.
So things could have happened, but I took my chance, and I didn't do it again because I was so nervous the first time.
Just make sure I got the milk
All right.
before.
Now,
you know.
he's older. He's 8. I'll be like, don't open the door.
I mean, I
I'm gonna
can
run downstairs.
imagine being a parent for the first time. There's plenty of mistakes I would make.
Oh, even 5, 6 kids later,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
make
12 kids later.
you're still gonna make a mistake.
The first one is the worst one, right?
You'll be like,
That's
yeah,
it.
I used to do it with this kid. I had no problem.
We're
Then you
always
did it
the
with this kid, and
prototype.
It's a problem.
Yeah, the older kid's always the prototype. All right.
Yeah, so it happens. But yeah, basically learn, teach your kids, talk to your babysitter and say, hey, mandatory, give them an hour of reading or an hour of this or hour of that. Print something out in the computer.
See, that requires the parent to also do additional work. And if
Yeah, that's
the
what I'm
parent
saying,
is
but-
not willing to do that.
No, the excuse is I come home from work, I'm
Right,
tired, I don't got no
tired,
time.
I don't got time.
But then you're on the phone gossiping to your friends and
Or
your family,
scrolling.
or if you're a father, you're
Dead
on the
scrolling.
sports. So you got time. It takes me
Yeah,
less
no,
than 5 minutes
right.
to print out something for my son. I'll be like, here, when I come back home, because my wife now works from home, but I don't want him to bother her.
Right.
So I say, when I come back from the studio,
Yeah.
all this better be done. He does it within less than an hour, and he's already playing games. Because I
'Cause
told him,
he knows as soon as he gets it done, then he can do whatever he wants.
right,
you
but it
know?
has to be done correctly.
Right.
It can't be done,
Half-ass.
So
Yeah.
it only takes an hour
Mm.
of a kid's life in the summer, and then have him go outside.
But it goes a long way. All
a
those
long way.
hours add up, you know,
Goes a long, long way.
and they make effective habits as adults. So
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Listen, if you
I
don't,
wish I had better study habits. Actually.
yeah. Oh, I believe me. If I
Horrible
would have had
study
the
habits.
study habits that they have, that my son especially has now,
Mm.
I don't think.
It's like scientific base, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think about it.
And everybody learns differently.
And what's the one word they say? Repetition, repetition, repetition.
I know,
So
write
in the
things
summer,
over and over.
if you're not thinking or doing what you were doing in the winter, you lose it.
Right.
That's why.
Then it takes extra long. Now you're using those months to get back into the groove, and by that
So
time,
you lost 3 to 4 months just to get back in the groove. And that's why teachers will be like, oh, we have to do a recap.
True.
And some of the teachers don't really want to do recap. They want to keep going
Some
forward.
of my teachers used to give like assignments over summer.
Yeah, remember that? The
You know.
booklet?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Even then,
remember that.
I understood the value in it, but I didn't care for
I'm
it.
like,
you know?
I'm summer. But I wish I should have done it the way they told me. Do a page or two a day. I went and I did that in one day because I didn't want to do my
Yeah.
rest of the summer. I wanted for me. But then by time
I
it
waited
came
to the end.
by the time it came to the school, I forgot what the heck I
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I
exactly.
don't even remember where I put the booklet.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's one of those.
I waited
things.
to the end, and then still I was always a crammer. To this day,
You know,
I work
a lot
better
of
under pressure.
A lot of people, they said that work better when they do it the day before because it's still fresh in your mind
Yeah.
versus getting your brain so tired of repetition and all
Constantly.
the thing. It happens. It happens. But also, I want to shout out the Bronx Academy of Promise. That's his school. Shout out to you guys. I did a career day today with them. The kids were,
How was that?
oh my God, the kids were crazy and
That's always a good
asking
feeling.
me questions about
Yeah.
being a host and like they didn't really know you can really be a host. Like,
Right.
and I
That's
told them
something.
it's not an influencer. So y'all
Right.
people that talking about, yeah, I crossed a lady across the street. Give me 100 likes. No. Influencer for me, you have to give somebody something to grow. Makeup, the mothers and daughters do that in their house. You know what I mean? Like cooking, I can see. But if you're just going to be talking about, yeah, I traveled here and there, I'm an influencer. Who you influencing? Because these people don't got money to go and travel. You know what I'm saying?
The truth is out now.
Right? You know, so why you don't influence them in how to make money, how to bank?
See,
What's
that-
the difference
that's what
between
I'll-
stocks and bonds?
That's what I'll click on. you know.
Yeah, like you don't give these differences.
Teach me how to do something that's gonna enrich my life.
and not talking about, you want 100 likes? This is how I did it. It doesn't mean it's going to work for me. So when I was sitting there and I was telling them how I went from South Bronx to where I'm at now, it rang the bell in a lot of the kids. They
It's
were
relatable.
like, wow.
Yeah.
So I can do that.
It's
and I said, yeah.
possible.
I didn't think about being, and one girl came up to me, Muslim girl, and said, I asked her, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
She said, my parents want me to be
Yeah,
a
doctor.
doctor. And I said, no disrespect.
Yeah.
I told her, who is it going to benefit, you
Right.
or your parents?
Right.
And she said, well, your parents. I said, so you go to school all these years and you
For them.
wind up not liking it, right? You're going to be bitter towards your parents. Bitter for anyone that told you to do something you didn't really like to do.
Yeah.
So I said, how long your parents are going to be here? Are they going to be here forever? She was like, no. I said, okay. So then when they pass away and you've been a doctor for so long,
Yeah.
now your dream of what you wanted to be,
Yeah, it's gone.
it's gone.
You don't want to do it anymore.
so now you're going to be more bitter to
Yeah.
your dead parents. So do you want that in life? I was like, or you want to be happy?
Right.
and still make money.
Do you want to be happy? Or you want to make somebody else happy?
So she was like, that makes sense. I said, because people think making 2 billion, 3 billion, 400
It's gonna
million,
make them
it's happy. Success is not really built on finance.
Right.
It's really
It's-
built
it's a-
on, because
It's a whole health type of thing. You
right,
know, it's a
because
bigger
as long
picture.
as your bills are paid
Right.
and you can go
No
somewhere in the
stress,
summer,
right?
you're good. That's, to me, a success.
Right. But if
Um,
you're stressing all the time, but you got this yacht, right? But you're stressing and now you're doing drugs and stuff just to
Ju-
de-stress.
That's not a success to me.
Something's missing, you know?
I
And
can
I've
be,
been there. Like you think that's you know, you got everything, but then it's like, why am I not happy? You know, because my spirit's not happy. You know, because I'm not doing what I want to do.
Yeah, I thought that same way, you know. I was making money. I brought crystal dragons. My whole house, even my cup was crystal, you know, back when I was living in Boston and everything. And it's so delicate glasses. Where I didn't even,
And then what?
I didn't even think about it. Real crystal glasses are so delicate.
Right.
You touch, bam, they break.
It's
So
now
there
the-
goes all your money for
It's
one glass.
devalued. Is that something that you wanted to collect? That's one thing.
But no one taught me anything about it. So
Right.
when
You
I was
thought-
making money,
you thought that was something you were supposed to put on your
yeah.
shelf and let people. Oh, that's nice.
I was like,
But you didn't care.
I had the hood rich mentality.
Yeah.
And what I
I'm
mean is,
supposed to spend money.
I'm supposed to put diamond rings
To
and
show.
to show I got
Right.
money.
Right.
And when I met a
Keep
couple
up.
of people
Yeah.
who had regular sneakers and kicks or whatever,
But they
used to-
got all these
they had
different
money, they
portfolios and
vacation.
vacation places and
You
you
know?
know. Yeah.
It wasn't like the hood thing, staycation, because only hood people made that
It's
work.
a facade.
You know, a staycation is not
It's an
really a
illusion.
vacation. So if you don't have money like that, then why spending it on this? So then I realized when the last, it was funny, the last dragon. But I had my last little dragon, cost me almost $300, a little small one like this. Again, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, I kicked myself so many times with all this thing. I had a big golden yin yang because I was always into the Asian stuff.
Yeah.
My whole house, I built another side of the house where it was feng shui type of thing. Yeah, the house was nice,
Yeah.
you know, but why? I would have just been better off
Was
just
it
making
making
a
you
full
happy?
wall
Yeah.
with a sofa and
Just comfort.
and comfort.
What you need.
Everything
you
on the wall,
like to
everything on the
collect.
wall wasn't comfort. It was
Right.
just to show.
Right.
So
That's what it's for. It's for to look at. you
right.
know?
So now I feel better. It's like I buy what I need and not really what I want, unless I made a little bit extra.
Right.
So
You
and,
reward yourself.
and that's where when I hear, oh, I rewarded myself, I tell the people, oh, so that means you made more money this week than you ever did? Oh no. So then how are you awarding yourself? You can't award yourself if you don't have the
Something
funds
extra.
to award you.
Yeah.
Award you means that I'm making $200 a week, and now here comes my boss or something, gave me a $75 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bonus, right? That is what you award with. But you take 25, put it to the side, and now you award yourself with a 50.
Right.
So
Save a little bit.
if everything is paid for, if it's not paid for, then you have to put that 75 to the. But that's when you say, let me award myself. Like my wife one time, we were doing something and we were going to go out, and I was like, what for? She was like, sometimes I
It's
just want to
just
spend.
nice,
I want to
yeah.
spend my money. I want to award myself.
Right.
But when she said it, she really meant because she made extra.
Right.
She made the not. Yeah, I'm still making the same paycheck, and I want to award myself. That means we're taking money out of our budget
Yeah.
that we didn't budget for, so that's not awarding. So when I was speaking to the girl, that I said success is based on what you have that has the happiness
Right, your own
behind it
personal
after
feelings.
the bills are paid.
Of accomplishment.
That's it. It's not
I mean,
how much
because if your
money.
bills aren't paid, you're not gonna feel rewarded at all. You're not gonna feel good. You're gonna feel
You
stressed.
you took the money from your budget to take a vacation.
And now you're worried
now you're
about how
coming
you
back.
pay rent.
No, but now you come back, you're talking about, yeah, boss, you got some overtime for me? So now you're going to do overtime
yeah.
and stress
No,
yourself
you're
more.
stressed on the plane back.
Yeah, because you don't know how you're
Because
going
you
to pay
ran
your
out
rent.
of money. You ran out of money.
You calling people talking about, can you get me a Metro card?
You could
Like,
barely get to where you're going, you know? So
now you're stressing because you got to do overtime. When you get home, you're tired, got to wake up, go to work the next day.
that ain't fun.
All your friends are having fun, and you got to, I got 2 more weeks of overtime, and I got my money back. That's not happiness.
No, not if you have to make it up like that. No, it's not. It's
Now,
just
I know
playing
people that
catch
got
up. It's
2 to
catch
3
up.
jobs, but they got 2 or 3 part-time jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not 2 or 3 full-time
Full-time
jobs.
job. There's no time for nothing after that.
So, and then you got no time for nothing, and you're paying everything.
And you're just depleting.
You can't.
Getting worn down.
Now, I'm one that, honestly, half of the vacations you see me take is because of my wife and son. I'm a person be like, nah, I'll stay
They
home.
force you
my
to
vacation is
enjoy
click,
life.
click, click, click.
Because you
But
have
that's
to
my
enjoy
joy.
it.
That's my joy.
And you have to spend time with them too and enjoy what they enjoy.
And
you know?
that's why we go out.
Yeah.
But if your enjoyment is to stay home and click, 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 then by all means. Plus,
Unless
you
of-
don't spend no money.
Right.
You know, besides light bills.
Unless you
that's
have a
it.
partner and your partner doesn't want to do that. That's something
Then
different.
she can go to the room. I'll still click, click, click on my vacation. One day, I'm just going to close the living room on my vacation and be like, once the curtain is closed, I'm on vacation. Don't bother me.
Just make a fort. Just make a little pillow fort.
That's what I'm saying. I'll take curtains or
Sheet.
something. I don't know. I'm making my vacation. You know, I'll put some sand on the ground or something. But I'm not going to waste no money.
The garage.
No, but
The virtual reality.
yeah, it's pretty cool. But with the news and everything, there's a lot of things going on as well. There's a lot of events popping up, things to do for the community. Check it out. I used to always say go to NewYorkEvents.com, but they shut it down. I don't know what happened. NYC Events.
Oh, maybe.
So if you guys know of another website that shows the events going on, let us know. We love that.
Time Out sometimes has
Time
stuff.
Out is a good one, too. But they mostly things to educate yourself and money and all.
Yeah,
you know,
like you gotta spend money.
Shakespeare in the Park.
Food.
And, things like that. Oh, and they also having the big food now that you're saying that. The big
A festival?
festival in Manhattan that they have
that
all
the
the
Italian
food.
festival?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they have, so they have the Italian festival at times, the Philippines, the Brazilian, Japan. So they have these things, but me and my wife was talking about, do we really want to go she's a Filipino, does she want to go to the Philippine food festival when she can cook it herself?
Not to buy it, maybe buy something she's never had, maybe.
What? She's Filipino. She was born and raised Philippines.
I don't know.
Like,
Maybe they got some new.
I think that's why they don't
new
make.
fusion.
I think that's why they don't make a Spanish food festival.
Right,
Because
'cause
what
it's
are you going to
everywhere.
cook
It's
that we
everywhere.
didn't eat yet?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
You know what I mean? So, but people go there and they spend all this money. Oh,
Tourists.
$20, $30. It's good for the tourists that never eat Filipino food or never ate Italian food or
Right.
something. But is it good for me to go and buy the same food
No.
I know how to make when I
No.
can just take that money and buy the ingredients and now I can make it for
If you
now
know how to
and
make
my
it-
leftovers.
Right. If you know how to make it, no.
Right.
Just make it.
So those are things that you have to think about it because summer's coming.
Money conscious.
So summer, you like to just throw
Yeah,
around.
true.
Like, I'm going to the park, and then you go buy $4 water. If you're
True.
leaving your house, wouldn't you bring a water bottle with
The
you?
park gotta be prepared.
Bring a water bottle with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now they have these stations, especially in Central Park, that you can just put your water bottle and it
Oh,
fills
they
up.
do?
Yes.
Like the airport.
Yeah. So you don't have
The
to waste.
library has them
You don't
too.
have to waste money.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So water, and especially, why would I want to pay $4 for
$4.
water?
Oh, one time I was in the movies, I paid $4. This was years ago. It's probably
$4
it's probably $8 now.
There's certain things I'll be like, I'm not paying. I'll just keep on going. I can be the
Let's
richest.
just keep on going.
I'm the richest person in the world, and I'll still be in McDonald's.
That's why you'll be richest person.
I'll be in McDonald's talking about what meals you special.
Let me
got?
get one rib.
Yeah. What's that?
How
2 for
much
5, right? That's two
one
for
fry.
five.
Just one.
I'll be like 2 for 5. Yo, anybody want to chip in? I got a 2 for 5 right here.
Let's
I'm
split this small fry.
I'm only
with
going to
me.
eat one. I'm only going to eat one burger. That's $2 for $5. You give me $2.50, we good. That's one, right? Like, come on now.
Half a frosty.
But we as a people need to learn how they make money, why they have money. because we don't go spending all nilly-willy all
Because
over
they
the
don't
place.
spend it on bullshit.
They spend it on the objects they need.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And then invest the rest.
Yeah. Some of them have nice
Save
cars
the
and stuff like
rest.
that. But their clothes, you notice their clothes is never glamorous. Their house is, because that's where you live. That's
Right.
where you want.
That's where you
that's
spend
where you
your
want the
time.
fun sway.
Yeah.
But you to go out and show
That's where you
off with
regenerate.
clothes,
Yeah.
a chain, and then you don't, a car that the system is more money than the car. Like no.
It's not
And
practical.
then you have.
if you
your
don't
rent.
have the money for it,
You don't have it. You don't have it.
it's not practical.
Listen.
But if that's what being flashy or whatever you call it, or showing off something you can't afford, if that's what that means to you, if that means more to you than being able to survive, then that's what that means to you. Why?
In other words, you're dumb. Because if you don't want to survive and you want that,
I mean, it'll be a struggle. That's all I'm
but
saying.
that's all you're doing is struggling, and then they don't wonder why they're struggling. But then they're gonna blame
I
it on
think
the government.
some of them are okay with it. Like, I got this car that cost $10,000 or whatever, or $40,000.
I'm paying $2,000 for the car a month.
Yeah,
Listen,
but I live in the PJs, so
we can afford a car. Yes, we can afford the insurance. Yes. Do I have one? No, because when I was paying my insurance, I was like, wait.
I don't have a license.
No. We went to the Philippines. Car
Yeah.
was parked 2 months, and I realized I was paying $1,500 a
Yeah,
month
wow.
for
For
insurance
those 2
for a car
months.
that was parked, and then I had to pay for the parking,
And- yeah.
and then I only used my car like in the weekends when we go
Yeah.
out of state.
Yeah.
But if we stay in the state, we don't use the car because I have to look for parking. I have to
Yeah.
look for
Yeah.
parking lot. That's money. So I'm like, all this money I'm spending when I can just take the train or the bus.
Right, or get a cheaper car and just,
I was good.
yeah.
I'm good. And now we have enough money that we spend on other things because we don't have to worry about that $1,500 a month for the insurance.
And none of that stress.
And I'm not stressed about, oh my God, if I can't pay the insurance, I can, because the car.
I
was
might
paying-
as well spend money this weekend and go out of state
Yeah.
so I can make use of this car.
The car was paying in full, so we didn't have
The
to worry about the
gas.
car. And now, if we do need a car, rental.
Yeah, yeah.
Rental, and it only costs me $200 for the weekend. And I'm good. So there are things that you can balance out, I guess. You know what I mean?
I mean, it feels much more better to get a reward when you feel like you've earned it a little bit. Once you start buying things for yourself all the time, nothing's special.
Right.
If you constantly get new stuff, you're going to keep getting new stuff because none of it feels special, none of it means anything.
Hey, Carmen,
Hi,
how's
Carmen.
it going? Yeah. So basically, summertime, and I'm saying it this way because I know in the summertime everybody goes all nilly-willy and starts spending here, start spending there. Oh, I don't want to go to work, and then they're complaining that they don't got that much money.
Oh, man.
So we need to, as a whole, start thinking more, and if not
Well,
for us,
as things
for
are-
our kids.
Yes, but also as things are getting more expensive because
Yes.
of tariffs and whatnot, because it didn't quite get there yet, but
Yeah.
it'll get more expensive, and you're gonna have to start.
Even
being
if it goes
practical.
down, because there's certain things that will go down. 'Cause that's a lot, because you still
Yeah.
have to put gas before you return. Exactly. For
Using a car
rental.
if you need it.
for rentals, you don't. It depends because I rent from Enterprise. I don't got to fill up the gas. They don't tell you to fill up the gas. They only charge me per mile. And what I do is I have the unlimited
That's nice.
plan. So I can go anywhere, unlimited miles, blah blah blah. Now some of them, it depends on the plan. Some of them do say you have to have the same
Fill it
gas,
up,
but that's just courtesy.
It is.
That's just courtesy. I always put the thing. But I agree, a car is a luxury.
It's
and
nice to
but
have when you
definitely
need
worth
it.
It's
But-
worth it if you live in the suburbs.
For sure.
Because you
You
definitely
need it
need a-
every day.
But here in a bus and a train that will take
The
you.
store is right there. This is right here.
No,
this
this-
delivers.
Here's a true story. About a couple years ago, we took my car to the Puerto Rican parade. Some of the staff members said, "I'll take the train and I'll meet you there." I said, "Okay, I'm closer anyway." Why they beat me there? They was like, "Where you at?" I said, "I'm still in
That's
traffic."
Classic.
When I could have just jumped on the train where it's, 2 blocks away from the studio.
I don't know what to say. You learned that one.
2 blocks away from the studio, and it took me so long to get to the parade. And yeah, we have our own parking in the parade, but still, I never did it again. We be in the trains. Me and Will sometimes be in the train or a taxi with our speaker. When we threw the speakers in the U-Haul, and we're like, we'll just take the U-Haul. U-Haul people be like, you got a party or something? Yeah. That's where we got the one speaker. We walk like from here to the garden. We'll just walk it. I'm like, save the money to do
some
other
exercise.
things. There's things you just have to balance out. But summer is coming. Be careful, because then in the wintertime, you're struggling to pay stuff, and it's going to be
Nobody wants to be in that situation.
Or save so much in the winter that you don't really have to worry too much of the summer.
Yeah.
But if you didn't save and you're still in the same thing, like us, we have to plan a birthday, where we're going to go. And my wife she's Asian, so 3 to 4 months, she'd be like, so it is 2025. Where are we going to go in 2028 in the summer? Because I got to save up.
You do?
It's
true.
She'll save up years from before, and I'm like, okay, a little exaggeration, but she's like looking at me like, you're exaggerating, right? No, but it's not 1 month in advance. She needs to know 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
To make sure we have.
Because you don't want to be like rushing and trying to scrape and
then even
you're not having fun.
Even that. Okay. How if we go on vacation, are we okay when we come back?
Yes.
That's the main question a lot of people don't
That's
ask.
the point of vacation. Is to come back renewed. Not more stressed out.
Not more. Yeah, we back home. Okay. Well, now we got 3 months of rent that we didn't pay,
Oh my God.
because we're on vacation.
Can you imagine? We got this eviction.
And I don't
notice.
like being cheap on vacations. Like, if you're going on a vacation,
Right.
you have to buy
What's your point?
food and blah, blah, blah. No, like, I'm not gonna be saving money. I'm not in
Right. You
money
wanna
saving
enjoy
mode.
yourself.
Exactly.
You don't want to be
What-
pinching
what- what's-
pennies like, let me see,
what's your
1,
point?
2.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying.
Because you looked at me and you were like, shoot,
He's got a fanny pack full of quarters.
listen, even on vacation, I am cheap. I'd be like, oh, sir,
1, 2.
you want this? How much is that? $2. $2? Good Lord, in America, I buy that for $1. I'm like, I'm not wasting that $5.
It
I'll
depends.
starve.
It depends.
I'll starve.
Food.
That's why when you live in the city and have a car, you don't use it in the summer. You wait till the fall or winter hits. True, if you got a winter car, because now you got the snow, you can't go nowhere.
The wheels.
You'd be like, the wheels on
I
the
like
car
having it
goes
in the
around
summer.
and around, but go nowhere. Go nowhere. No, but, like us, like I said, we have, hello, driving
Hey,
but
Magda.
listening. Thank you, Magda. So if you use it more than possible or use it enough, then great.
Yeah.
We wasn't using it enough.
Yeah.
Some weekends we didn't even use it at all. It was parked right at the studio for almost a week or two that the owner was like, oh, I thought you left on vacation. I was like, no, I'm in the studio. It's just I don't need the car. So I'm paying thousands of dollars a month for what? To have it sit there. Yeah. So before
what
you
you
go
could
on
be
vacation,
doing with that money.
Before, when you're on vacation, you can freeze the insurance, the car insurance, and you don't have to pay. Now they don't do that. So, wait, I didn't see that one.
You would have been a millionaire in the early 1900s.
In the 90s, in the 1900s. Heck yes. But like I said, I did when I was young. Like I sat back and I was like, if I would have saved some of these money, I would have been better. You know what I mean?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Oh my God. But I did waste some money. Like I told you.
Come on.
Why did I waste a crystal cup?
That's a kind of a part of being American. We waste money. That's what we
once
do.
in a while. 1901 cost 0 cents a month.
See, then he would have had to make dollars on the cent.
There you go. But even back then, I would have like, how much is this? A penny candies. Right. Oh Lord. Can I get 3 for a penny? Can I get 3 for a penny?
penny?
I would even pinch like that, boy. But
Sixpence.
right, what they call it, the shillings,
Shilling.
shillings back in the
One
day.
shilling,
1 shilling.
£3.
But ladies and gentlemen, let's get to one of the main topics because my phone died. I don't even know what time we got.
6:43.
Oh, okay, so let's hit the main topic that we stopped on last week,
The location.
and was the location. Should you? I waste all my money on food.
That's me too, Carmen.
Yeah, Carmen used to eat when she was over here. So, but do you have the rights, or should you,
What do you say?
have the rights to have your mate's location on your phone, or even know every
To know it.
place they went?
What do you-
I say yes. That, again, just like you have a kid in your house, when you say, don't lock your door, there's no privacy. There shouldn't be no privacy when you are married. There shouldn't be no secrets of where you're going and where
There's
you're
no
going.
secret.
But it is if you're not saying where you at. Ain't that
If
a
you
secret?
have to hide it, if you
A secret is something that someone does not know, that you do not tell. So if you do not tell your location,
right, they're not
it's a
disclosing
secret.
it. Right. They're purposely not disclosing.
Right. So should you not? And plus, let's hit safety. Would it
For
be
me, that's what it's
better
about.
to know where your mate is at, your location?
I'm not looking at it, but if we live in the household together, we pay, we're doing things together. I'm expecting you, right? Eventually at nighttime. So if I don't see you one day, I would like to at least be able to say, oh, okay, she's not okay, he's not okay. What's going on?
Yep.
Especially when it comes to parents and children,
Like my wife called me that was last week or the other week. Where you at? I was like, oh, I waited for the bus because I didn't want to walk. I said, why? She said, oh, no, because it's 7:45 in the morning, and normally you're here by now.
Yeah.
Already know the timing. But if she would have had my location, she would have been like, oh, okay, he's still waiting for the
Right,
bus.
right.
But, she made the call. So
It's
safety-wise,
not necessary,
is that.
yeah.
But know who your mate is. Because you don't want that mate that's talking about, I thought you were in the store.
Just
You're not in the store.
watching.
Why you doing it in the jewelry store? Why you here? Why?
Only
you know?
during emergencies. Other than that, no, I don't need it. Right.
Because
We should trust
we
each
should
other.
trust each other. True, but how do I know it's going to be an emergency?
You have to know that person, obviously.
So-
If you're living with them, hopefully you know each other.
No, but emergencies happen. That's why it's called an emergency. I'm not going to know your location, and I don't know if there's an emergency.
Well, after inquiring, where are you?
Why
Are you
wouldn't
okay?
you want your mate to know what you're doing? Exactly.
Right.
They're supposed to know what you're doing at all times.
I'm
and
not
where you're at.
opposed to it.
I'm, by all means, like, oh, where you going? Your friend's house. Well, the location.
I don't need to hide where I'm going, so that's my thing.
Yeah.
If you need to hide where you're going, then that's.
And plus, my partner will always know where I'm going, but I don't need to be a GPS on.
Mhm.
You don't have to have the GPS
My
on.
GPS is always on anyway. So.
But your location, your GPS is not going to be on, but your location is going to be on. Two different things. GPS tells you how to get there. Location
Right,
tells you
location
where
tells
you
you
at.
where you're at, yeah. Location, yeah.
Like, I'm not
for
going to
sure.
report to my husband, but I also have nothing to hide.
Right, if he wants to find you, he can find you.
See, the thing is that I'm going to say this, and I don't know, I'm not going to say it to everybody, but
He's
people that
forewarning
don't
us.
want location on your partners because I have nothing to hide and things like that, they might have had partners that bad experience that always want to, where you at? Why you doing this? Why you doing that? Or they have something to hide.
Privacy.
Right.
I'm a private person, but I don't have anything to
But
hide.
there's no privacy when you put a ring on it.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I
Or
agree.
if you
I
live with
agree.
the person.
I agree. Because you're sharing,
Right?
you're
For
sharing
better
a household.
and worse.
Right.
Through sickness and health. Through location and GPS. To death do you part.
No, that's good try. That's not part of the
TikTok do we
vows.
part.
That's not what it says?
No,
No?
it's
Oh,
not
okay.
part of it.
No, but in order, now we don't have our location on because we're always together anyway. But there was times like when she was in Manhattan, she had a location and I had my location. Where you at? Even with the location, we still, I'm right here. Well, the location says you're here, but I don't, and we still passed each other. It was so funny because she was across the street and the GPS wasn't really telling us that we were there. And I'm like, why you just passed me? Now you're in another block.
Moving when it's not supposed to.
All right, let's find each other. Well, don't move, because I'm moving.
Times Square.
Yeah, so we were in Times Square that time. That was funny. But we're together. But if she's far away, I make a phone call. Now, if I don't hear her back or I don't see a text,
Right. You're
you're
gonna try to
pretty much
see
sure
where she's at.
I'm calling cops.
Maybe she's in a non-service location. Let me see. You know, just
Not for too long. 10, 20 minutes, if you don't call me back, I'm about to call cops, ambulance. Because it's out of the norm.
right.
It's out of the norm, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a norm person that doesn't pick up the phone for long hours of time, you're gonna do that.
As long as it's not a hand.
And blank nag. Exactly. You don't want that one person that be like, "Where you at?"
It
Oh, I'm
wouldn't
in
be
the
shared.
store.
It wouldn't
no, you're
be
not.
shared.
You're next to your ex-girlfriend's house.
Nah.
Why are you doing there? I'm like, my ex-girlfriend
The
don't live
phone
there.
would be off for me.
Be like, yeah, your ex-girlfriend lives 20 minutes from where you at. Why you doing over there?
Ex-girl, now he's got her GPS too.
Like, oh, why she at the store and you in this? Like, no. I seen her Facebook. She talking about she going to the store. The same
Right.
area you're going.
Now she's a couch detective.
Yeah, you don't.
Not the cops.
No, not the cops. Right, exactly. You don't want that. You don't want those. But if you have a normal, like, hey, like, I don't even really
Family.
need a location on my phone, or she does, because I'll be like waiting for the bus, on my way, waiting for the, like, that's how we
Right.
do.
Otherwise, you're with her.
And it's not for her to tell me, oh, I gotta check in with him. No, it's I gotta make sure he knows I'm safe. And this
Yeah.
is where the last time you knew I was safe.
Right.
That's where it comes from. So if she's on the 15, I'll be like, I calculate. I even look at the bus schedule. Okay, she should be here in about 20 minutes. 30
Proof of
minutes
life.
later, you're not here? I'm like, are
What's
you
going on?
okay?
Right.
Yes, that's it. Okay, I'm
Right.
good. I already know that
She
you're
could have
okay.
stopped somewhere,
Right,
whatever,
'cause
whatever.
she might have stopped
Go
somewhere.
to the store.
But if you don't text back, yes, I'm okay, now I start getting nervous.
Of course.
So that's all it is for.
Time is of the essence with missing person.
Yes, especially now, you have to make sure, things are good and she's going home, people hitting people for no reason doing that. So you just want to make sure
There's always
everything is good.
like non-urgent emergencies too. Like maybe somebody else got into an accident that affected you, but you're safe, right? Something like that, that kind of affects your time, or maybe you got stuck under the subway. Had to find another mode of transportation. Like, it's not harmful, but it is an emergency. It is something that happened that doesn't normally happen, and you do need to communicate.
No, yeah. And then, and plus, you want to have that communication that you can
Phone dying or something, whatever.
Because when I have mad emergencies, I hope that she's going to contact me quick,
Right.
Like, where's the ketchup? I don't see the thing in the refrigerator. Like, these emergencies happen where she has to, and then I have to find out she's in the
Go
subway.
to Popeyes.
She's in the subway. She can't answer me, so I got to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
No, but knowing where your mate is, and I say mate because it could be your
It
boyfriend,
could be your brother. It could
living
be,
in,
somebody, your parent you live with, whatever.
Now, that's why I'm glad you said that. Now,
That to me is
the
more
second
important.
question is, should you put a GPS on your parents?
Yeah, and I'll tell her. I got a tag on you.
And I'm not talking about the 17, 18-year-old parents. I'm talking about your 50, 60-year-old
Right.
that
The elderly.
elderly that's losing a little bit of their mind.
Absolutely.
They are getting a GPS clip in their body.
And if they want to, they can know where I'm at too. It's just whatever, transparency.
Listen,
I need to know they're safe.
if they start losing my grandmother, she was getting like that.
Mm-hmm.
I gave her the GPS necklace
Yeah.
right away. They were like, oh, why? She's not going to leave her house. You never know.
You don't know.
That one moment,
You don't know.
The home attendant fell asleep. She woke up and just walked
Yeah,
away.
you don't know. Just plan for it and keep it simple.
Technology is a great thing
If you
when
use
you
it that
use
way.
it correctly.
Right.
GPS your grandparents. GPS your parents when they start losing their
Mine.
memories.
No, I'm just
Their
kidding.
minds too. But if your
But-
family is known for losing their memory, Alzheimer's and all that, GPS your parent.
Yeah.
Locate their parent. You don't want to find out later on that they walking around somewhere in West bubble, F.
Edgar Allan Poe Park.
Yeah,
You know,
unless you know your parents well.
Central
And-
Park at
And
night.
you'd be like, oh, my mom or my dad is missing. I know where they went. They have this thing that they go to when they were young. They probably went there. But not many people know their parents' lives.
Yeah.
They only know what they see. But they never knew their life in the back.
before them.
Alzheimer's brings them back to when they dated or even past
Their
that.
childhood.
So they probably hanging out in a place where you never even heard that they went. So GPS your parents. I'm sorry. Give them that I'm falling, I can't get up necklace.
Very true.
All
jokes aside, seriously.
I don't understand why. And I told people this, and they was like, "Oh no, that's a privacy
Invasion.
thing."
What privacy do they have if you're taking care of them? And
Even
then-
if I don't live in their house, it's worse. I'm definitely putting
Right.
a GPS. I'm
Right.
putting I had a camera in my grandmother's house, not in her room, but in the living room and in the kitchen to make sure that they were not trying to poison my grandma. I'm a conspiracy person.
it's
I've
better
been
to-
watching
you
too
don't
much
know.
crime
shows.
Lifetime shows.
But it's the truth. It is like that.
You
It's
know?
like that.
And then when she was in one room, in the living room, I had the camera facing her.
Yeah, it's better to be
that-
safe and know what's going on than to have to rely on the police days, weeks, months
Yes.
later, for something that you could do. Just no.
I believe that. I believe, and I tell my son the same thing. If you start seeing that I'm losing memory and stuff,
Yeah.
I don't care if you chip me.
It's for
Put a
everybody's
chip
benefit.
inside me. I don't care.
Yeah.
But as long as you know where I'm at, I'm good.
It's for everybody's benefit, man.
It's not that my privacy is my kids taking care of me, making sure I'm okay where I'm at.
That's
so
it.
if I can do it to my parents, why can't I do it to my mate? Same thing. You're caring for them and making sure.
Hopefully it's
But
the
if you're a
same
jealous
intent.
person, again, if you're
Right.
a cop,
That's not well intended.
you're a Facebook
You're a
cop
stalker.
or something. Yeah, don't do it. No. If one person, you test it out, test the waters. Let the person have your location. But if as soon as he or she calls you and says,
Don't
so
say
what
we
are you
didn't
doing in
warn
that
you."
store? What are you doing in that store? When they say that question, take your location off. They don't need to know. That means it's beyond. It's beyond.
That's gonna be a hassle.
It can come down to domestic violence as well. You know what I'm saying?
could.
It can reach levels you don't
Because
want.
it's about control.
Mm-hmm. Like if they call, hey, since you're around this store, can you buy me something like this? That's
Right.
something different. Even though that's a
That's
little
me.
worry. Like, you should have just called me and asked me.
I didn't know where you. I couldn't get. I didn't. I called you, but you didn't pick up a half hour ago.
that's
You in the
something, yeah.
store.
Are
So
you
can you get me
okay?
some gummy bears? So.
Because I do that. Be like, I call. Where you at? Why? She already knows.
Because I want something.
She already knows. You shop. You still shopping?
I need something.
What you want?
Right.
Yeah. So, but that's the point of getting to know someone. You know what I mean?
The beauty.
Yeah. Are you going to the supermarket? I'll be like, I'm getting one thing. What you want? One thing. I don't even got a bag. I leave bags at home just for that reason. I got one
I
bag.
do
What you
too.
want? She knows. That's
The
what she
more
laughing.
bags, the more stuff.
No, because it always starts with, nah, I don't want nothing. Just a bread.
Just picking up
And
stuff
since
you
you got
don't
the
need.
bread, can you get me a juice?
No.
And you know what?
So
We want
let
eggs.
me explain. This is what he does.
The
Oh,
voice
I'm-
of explaining in the
I'm,
background.
I'm at the store.
voice of
What do you
reasoning.
need? If you ask me what do you need, I'm gonna tell you what I need.
Right.
No, that's the same thing as if I'm walking down the street and I say, hello, how you doing?
How's your day?
I don't want you to tell me how you doing. It's just me being nice.
Why would you do that to your wife?
I just want to be nice. That way you can be like, oh,
I did it.
so you went to the store. You didn't ask me if I wanted something. So I cut that off, and
Oh.
I'm asking you. But I didn't say I'm going to the store for a grocery. I said I'm going down to get some munchie. She wanted a grocery.
Text you a list.
You know what I'm saying? And then she said, there's bags. Not a bag, Will. Bags.
I'm looking out for you.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, like, yes, right? Like the other day. Well, take the stroller. Why would I take the stroller to the supermarket?
Carry his stuff.
And she, yeah, I'm like, okay.
You start bringing in boxes and
I'm
sodas.
worried about your back.
Yeah, okay. Okay. We go to the supermarket for one thing. Especially when you know a person. When they go to a certain store, you know it's trouble. Let me go to Aldi's and just get. I need almond milk.
Oh, you got to bring the bags.
Why you need a stroller for 2 almond milks? That's like a gallon
A
right there.
hand truck.
2 half a gallons. Why you need a stroller? Why you need all these bags? Because it ain't just the almond milk.
Right. Yeah.
Comes out a lot of things. So, but I'm one of them that I bet. Oh well, since you're getting so much stuff here, throw me a pack of Oreos in there. You know,
Might as
since
well.
we're here, might
That
as well.
don't
You got a
hurt.
stroller.
Why not?
You got the shopping cart, might as well. So, but again, that becomes when you know someone. If you know where they at, you know what they're gonna get. But
The routine.
definitely, the whole purpose of this show today was to acknowledge things that we need to acknowledge. Kids need to be studying.
Safety. Yeah.
Mates need to know at least where you're going and, you know, ballpark of when
If
you're
you're
gonna come
safe.
back. Right.
If you're safe.
Just to be safe. But your parents, when they get to that elder part, when they start losing their memory, GPS them.
You don't want to be looking for them everywhere.
I don't want my parents talking about why your parent is in the highway looking for a building that's not there no more.
Goodness.
What building? I never even knew she lived around here.
Right.
So
And then she's scared and crying, you know,
Yeah.
like it's better to be
GPS
safe.
them as much as you could. You know, get them a phone because I know some of the old ones still got the flip. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying who had a flip around here, but
I got one.
Will was like, hey, I'm proud of it too. Flip. No, you know, but get them a phone and put the GPS in it so they don't know.
Right.
You know, even though sometimes they'll forget about the phone. So that's why I say give them that necklace or chip them.
Yeah. There's so many little GPS devices you can buy.
Yeah, they got the bracelet, you know, the chain, something or ring. Be like, here.
Pin it to the bag or whatever.
Yeah. You put them in that wig. You know what I'm saying? Your
And their glasses.
And your I was gonna say that. And your grandpa's glasses. You know what I'm saying? So in my case, my grandpa, I had to put it in his drinking cup. You know, where
In the bottom.
well, it was just water. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Smelling like beer all the day. Come on now. My grandfather used to walk with a thing. Oh no, I don't drink. I don't drink. Coming home drunk. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, the good things, you know, let them rest in peace, both of them. But
Right.
GPS your parents as well. Have fun. We're going to be talking next week more. And then look at our page because we do put questions on our page as well. So check that out. And we always
Comment.
want answers and comments to see. So I'm Charles Aloma,
Lydia Penn here.
and we'll see you next week.
Stay beautiful.